Hello, 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 and welcome back to the GTD Podcast. I'm the Norix. I speak for the podcast, and we are here once again, as per the usual at this point.
Yep.
You would hope it to be the usual.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here as always with my lovely co-stars, I guess.
Yeah.
Co-hosts. That's the word I'm looking for. Devin and Matthew.
Yeah, we are indeed co-hosts.
Yeah,
and we are indeed here.
You've been co-host since the inception of this thing. So presumably that would be, presumably you would usually be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't know. We have several things coming up in the show that we'll be talking about today. We'll be talking about what we've been doing this week, which consists of work, Minecraft, and no video games, as far as I can tell. Because that appears to be the usual with what happens. Then we'll be looking at a few trailers, specifically trailers for Pocky and Rocky, Monarch, and Gun Jam. 3 interesting looking games that one of them I will be going more in depth with than the others, just because it had a demo that I played. So, Then we'll be moving on to host topics, which usually just means the news, because host topics don't exist anymore as far as what we've done, because we just never come up with one, which is fine. Then shameless self-promotion at the end of the show. So I don't know, we usually have some amount of preamble, but also what you've been doing this week is technically a form of preamble. It's just a point. It's just, talk about what we've done this week. So Matthew, why don't you?
Well, for the past 4 hours across 2 days, because I haven't had much time to actually play it, this came in.
Okay.
And I've been messing around with it.
Yes, Pokemon Legends Arceus, the game that everybody thinks graphically looks terrible, and I just don't understand why.
I disagree. I like the graphics. I think they're fine. They're not like masterwork level, but I like them. I like this art style. I don't see what people are complaining about.
I don't either, honestly. I just don't get it.
Like, it has, like Aaron said, it has less bloom.
Like, it's
okay.
It's
Wild.
More, but it's going for a slightly more realistic looking. Graphically, it's going for something more realistic than cartoony. But that's just because of the type of game it is. Like, if you compare it to Breath of the Wild's graphics are more cartoony and cell shaded and lots of bloom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that. It's just a different art style.
Yeah.
Graphically, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I like the graphics. For some reason, other people don't, apparently. I mean, sure, there are some problems with how it's actually drawn. Like, there isn't a lot of foreground fog or anything. Not foreground fog. There isn't much fog in the game, which makes it look like you can see a really long ways even up the mountains. So it's not horrible, but like the further away, it still looks pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really an issue. It's just they didn't add that for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I've basically just been collecting items for all the time.
4 hours of collecting items, eh?
Not. and a few minutes of tutorials. They didn't teach, well, they actually had to teach you how to catch Pokemon because it's a different way of catching Pokemon, but they didn't have the same method of teaching once.
Go catch a Pokemon.
It's as if they're using a different way of catching Pokemon this time, where you actually throw and aim.
Yeah.
When you're not in the battle. Maybe that's why they had to teach how to catch a Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like it.
Anything to say about it? Outside of like, oh, I enjoy it. Like, are there any things that stand out to you in the game? Like anything you want to discuss mechanically?
I like the agile and strong style a lot.
Okay.
And how the turn order can switch around. I think it's a little unbalanced in some circumstances, obviously, but
well, I feel like that's kind of
when it's not beneficial to me.
Yeah. If it's not beneficial to you, then it's overpowered.
Exactly. And honestly, I'd actually like them to keep the agile and strong style or something similar in later games.
Yeah.
Combat wise, I actually like this combat system more than the old one.
When I initially saw, I think I talked about this before. When I initially saw like the agile and strong style, it is such a small thing, but it really does add another layer to the depth of combat that was just not there before.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pokemon's combat has always been pretty
bare bones.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So, let's see.
Like, I know there's a competitive scene for Pokemon, and there's lots of people that put these teams together with strategies, but it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't get the appeal of that specifically.
Neither do I.
But I also don't think the turn-based combat is really complicated enough to warrant that kind of thing. Yeah. That's just me, though.
But let's see what. Oh, right, I was talking about the mechanics and stuff.
Like, if your entire combat system boils down to essentially just tapping the A button several times, then I think it's a little simple.
I also like the fact that you can actually move around in the fight. You can't move away from the fight too far, but you can actually move around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Pokemon can randomly join the fight, but it might just be that some Pokemon, it might be that when you have multiple Pokemon aggressive toward you, they join the fight.
Yeah.
But you only have one Pokemon out.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they're roughly equal level to you. So
that sounds like a fair and balanced system to me.
It's not an especially tough game, even with that, just because.
Well, it's still Pokemon.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it.
So have you even gotten to the first noble Pokemon?
No, I'm not really sure. I forgot where I was supposed to go. So I've just kind of been wandering, collecting things. I'll figure it out eventually.
I see. One thing I do want to know, because I'm still not quite sure about this through gameplay stuff I've seen, but how does the world actually flow?
I like it.
Like, is it a proper like open world, or do you choose a section to go to?
Yeah, it's sections, and you unlock them as you get higher rank in the Galaxy team.
But could, like, I get that it's like large open sections of the map.
Oh, they're very large.
Yeah, they look large, but like,
I've almost managed.
Is there like a border?
I don't know. I haven't got to that yet.
Like, out of it.
If there is, it's probably a river. But I haven't got to it if there is one.
Well, the thing is with the river blockage is that you can get the ride Pokemon. You can get like a flying one, a ground one, and a
I'm not sure.
One, so,
I'm 4 hours in and haven't even got to the first boss. So
that is true. So obviously you don't know a lot of what it is, but I was just curious.
Yeah, and if you hold down ZL, you can go into a first-person type mode almost. It doesn't show hands or anything,
but
you're seeing from your character's perspective, except when talking's happening. or when a battle engages.
I see.
I like that. That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Just because it looks different. I've done it multiple times just because I like it. Such a small thing, but I want them to bring back once again.
Yeah.
I just want them to take the gyms and stuff, because I think it would be really neat if they used the mechanics from this game and had more trainers, because there aren't a lot of trainer battles.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense since the lore of this game is that apparently humans and Pokemon haven't learned to coexist yet. Don't know where that fits in with the timeline of Pokemon, but that's why there aren't really any trainers.
I just think it would be interesting if they combined the two systems of like the Pokemon wandering around in the overworld and they can attack you, to go off of that. Pokemon attack you if you go into the tall grass.
Well, that's kind of what they were trying to do with Sword and Shield, with the terrain stuff. But it
like
wasn't
actually knock you out.
Yeah, but it wasn't really like well put together.
Yeah.
It was kind of not that good. This is an entirely separate beast to that, though.
I would really like to see just basically the mechanics from this game, for the most part, other than ones that just straight up wouldn't function in a modern game, in the modern era, put into like Gen 9 or something, whenever that happens.
I mean, it might happen.
Because so far, I think the game's actually fairly popular now. Because people are saying that it's actually pretty good, other than the graphics, which everyone's saying.
Even though, here's the thing with Pokemon. Even though Sword and Shield was considered a not good game, it was still a financial success.
True.
As far as I'm aware. So every Pokemon installment is most likely going to be a financial success. And with this one specifically, it's so different from the natural Pokemon formula that people are going to want to buy this and get interested in it. So,
Yeah.
Outside of the hundreds and hundreds of people that just complain about the graphics for reasons I don't understand.
Sure, from an artistic standpoint, there are a couple issues that are fairly easy to see, but all the trees are the same in different areas. But I really don't care about that.
I don't know.
I'd prefer to see good mechanics over good graphics, personally. I don't like absolutely awful graphics, but it's just Breath of the Wild is fine. It looks really nice, but LA is also really nice.
From all the footage I've seen of the game, it's it's fine. It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it graphically. It doesn't look ugly or bad. It looks fine.
Yeah. It looks fine in game too.
It looks fine. Some of the textures are probably a little low resolution, but
sure.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just annoys me. Anyways, but yeah, anything else?
I feel like there was something else I was gonna say. I'm going to think for a second to collect my thoughts again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, with the implementing it in Gen 9. Yeah. Because I think that could make it a lot more interesting. Maybe, for instance, if they did that, they could make parts where evil teams act like evil teams, whatever they're going to do for Gen 9, and actually send out their Pokemon to attack you. And you have something like that before a battle. That could actually be interesting. I don't think they do that, but it could be interesting.
Well, it depends on, it kind of depends on the success of this game, as well as the Pokemon Company, well, not really the Pokemon Company, but just Nintendo and Game Freak's interest in pursuing something. The Pokemon Company has literally no say in the games whatsoever, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
They get all of their money from the merchandise, which Game Freak sees none of anyways. Isn't that kind of horrendous that Game Freak doesn't really get any of the money from the merchandising of Pokemon? Just the Pokemon Company?
How much money do they make from the games alone, though?
What?
How much do they make from the games alone?
I mean, usually it depends, but like the thing with game designing is that it's kind of in that realm of movie making where it's like you have a budget, like if you spend a certain amount to make something and it has to at least, there's breaking even and then there's like exceeding what you spent to create it. And it's like, even if they're making, tens of thousands of tens of millions of dollars, there's still the possibility that the staff is being underpaid to do this work, or their budget is just really low.
I decided to look up how much do Pokemon games make specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And while the media franchise makes 90 billion, has made lifetime revenue.
The Pokemon video games are actually a very small percentage of the amount of money that comes out of Pokemon at this point.
Sword and Shield only made them $13 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not very much.
It was still considered a success as far as I'm aware.
I mean, sure. I can understand why. It definitely made a lot of money.
It's just one of those, rotten things in the game industry sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that so? That's what you've been up to this week, Matthew?
Yeah, I've also been working on the game more.
Yes, your Pokemon fan game.
Okay, so Pokemon.
What was the silence?
I was looking at. I was curious what they made from the other games. So
all right then.
Looked up Sun and Moon because it was more like offensive.
What the hell was in my throat?
Saying from Pokemon Go and Sun and Moon, the company's net profits soared 143 million. That's not helpful.
No, it doesn't sound like
like okay.
All right,
that's not helpful.
So that's what you've been up to then.
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to keep us updated.
Also getting annoyed at D&D, but
well, that's a general thing.
Not hard to achieve.
I will say you should keep us updated on your progress through Arceus as new things come up. I'm interested to see your full thoughts on the game at some point. So Devin, what have you been up to this week?
Well, not a ton. So yesterday I got back to work for the first time in a couple of weeks. And I've been keeping up with the subreddit where I do the Magic the Gathering stuff. That I've done that. I don't know. It did that stuff. There is a really cool thing, which is I made a video about another YouTuber, or I made a video of clips of another YouTuber that they expressly asked someone to make, and a bunch of people made them. But mine has almost 10,000 views right now.
Oh, nice.
And it's on that channel that had 0 subscribers a week ago.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's on that channel where I didn't do any. There's no Minecraft. I mean, it's just literally me making a daily Minecraft video. That's it. That's the entire content.
Yeah.
And then I make this one little clip video, and it blows up to 300 views, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And then it keeps going.
Yeah, that stuff usually does pretty well on YouTube. Clip shows and other stuff.
Apparently,
it does. It really does. Like, compiling the work of other people is really easy.
It was a 40-second video.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. People like...
And it wasn't his work. It was him saying, wow.
Just saying. People really like weird shit like that. It is very funny how, like, just random clips of, like, things people say will become super popular and, like, loved.
Yeah.
So, I'm not surprised by that fact. It's just weird, I suppose. It's a good way of putting it. Because it is kind of weird how much people kind of, like, because like if it's funny, like I get it, you'll want to like watch it a bunch of times, but it is kind of weird how much people latch on to certain things.
I think it's because people are fans of that content, and if they see a rebrewed version of it, it's like they get to watch the same thing, but it's different this time.
I suppose
something like that.
I mean, it does make sense,
Yeah,
because you also have like you made like a 40-second clip of just a thing he did, but there's also many channels that just compile the work in like clip shows of, like you'll always, if you've been on YouTube, you've definitely seen like the best moments of blank.
Yep. A lot of that.
There's a lot of compilation channels that just compile the work of people and put it into just like a best of category for people to watch, and those do numbers, as the kids say. I don't think the kids say do numbers. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt that's what the kids say.
Yeah, no.
So you did that. Anything else worth noting and or of interest?
No, that's all that's happened.
All right.
Yeah.
The daily grind is back again. Come to work, my good friend. Singing is pointless. Don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that
I don't know.
Aaron, are you okay? Aaron, are you okay?
I don't understand why I'm doing this. Please help me, God. Anyways, what have I been doing this week? Well, aside from singing to myself like a fucking weirdo, I have been relatively busy this week. The weird thing is, I always like at the end of a week look back on my week and I'm like, man, I was so busy this week, but I just don't know what took up my time. Like, my memory is terrible and I don't remember what took up my time. I just know my time was taken up by something. Because it's like I definitely did some more housework, I'm pretty sure. Been continuing to take care of the cats. Oh yeah, I watched. Never mind. I was just gonna say, oh yeah, I washed some clothes. It's like, no, it's not important. It's not important for you to know. It's literally just my daily grind at this point.
I've done so much important stuff this week. I washed my clothes. I unlocked the car. I made sure to get Jim out of the shed. Wait, I probably shouldn't say that.
Just listing things to do. It's just like, this is what my week's been like.
Sure to drink 3 glasses of water.
Yeah. Ate some oranges. It was great. Yes. As I don't remember if I mentioned this yet, but my sleeping schedule has been a little weird this past week. So I've been waking up a little later than I've wanted to. That was rectified today, I believe, because I woke up at like 8 today, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, that happened. Is there anything? What did I do? Wait. Oh yeah, I also, like an idiot, fell back into Smash Brothers.
And
by fell back into Smash Brothers, I mean I started playing it again just a little bit. Not online though, because every time.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm not playing online because it's just not worth it in any conceivable fashion. Also, there's a fucking input delay whenever you play online because Nintendo servers aren't very good. So it's genuinely frustrating to just not do anything when you intend to do something. Yeah. Like a poor fool, I fell back into Smash Brothers and started doing stuff in it again. It's still a fun game. I just, it frustrates me to some degree. And also I just like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I want to get good at the game, kind of, but I also don't have any reason to get good at it. Like, I'm already better than everybody I know who plays the game. I've put more hours into it than everybody in like a radius around me who would care to play it with me. I have nowhere else to go. If I play it with other people, I'm just gonna beat them because I'm better. But not online, because the people online are either better than me or spam the same attack that's impossible to dodge over and over again. There is not really any in between when it comes to just general online Smash. Unfortunately, I've talked about this before. Anyways, what else did I do? Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. One other thing I did do was play the demo for one of the games we're looking at, but I'll talk more about that once we look at the trailer. So that's it for me. I'm sure at this point, everybody just skips over when I talk about my week because it's just the same boring stuff. It's just like, oh, it's his turn. Better skip until he's done.
I mean, mine is just Minecraft and then Minecraft.
Minecraft,
Also, by the way, Minecraft.
Work, Minecraft, Minecraft. What the hell? Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it for me. So we'll just move on to trailers, shall we? Unless we have something else to talk about, which I don't think we do. Right? No? Okay. So trailers. Our first trailer for today is a gameplay trailer for Pocky and Rocky Reshrined, which is a I guess kind of sequel remake-esque for the original Pocky and Rocky, which is something I never thought I'd see ever. Because for those of you who don't know, which honestly might be quite a few people, because Pocky and Rocky is kind of underground as far as NES titles are concerned. SNES, Jesus. Pocky and Rocky is a old SNES bullet hell. It's like it's a twin stick shooter essentially, where you shoot out like lots of bullets. And there's lots of bullets that come at you. Bullet hell, it's the term should be exemplified. But the entire game's theming is like Edo period Japan. So you play as like Pocky, like there's Pocky who is a shrine maiden, and then there's Rocky who is a tanuki. There's also several other characters that have been introduced for this game specifically. All of which have new gameplay styles that fit this new game. The reason I call it a remake is because it has, from the trailer, it looks like there's a lot of stuff that is from the original game. Specifically, some bosses and areas look like they're from the original game, but it also looks like there's a lot of new stuff. So I think it's kind of like a sequel remake. But yeah, I'm genuinely astonished by this thing's existence, just because I didn't think Pocky and Rocky was like popular enough to get a remake or new game in the series. It's also by the company Natsume, who were the Harvest Moon developers before the main development team of that split off to form their own company, which is a different story. But yeah, it has very nice looking pixelated. What was it called? What is this thing called? The multi-directional scrolling shooter. It's very nice looking sprite work with the pixelated graphics and such. Oh my goodness, why my brain? Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The other thing that astonished me about this, that Pocky and Rocky is like really fucking hard. Like, the original game is genuinely very, very difficult, and it has a reputation for being difficult. So that's another factor in the I'm kind of surprised this happened. You know? Kind of surprised this happened. But the general gameplay in Pocky and Rocky is firing out a type of projectile that is unique to your character, collecting power-ups to increase or change what you fire, collecting bombs that detonate a whole screen of enemies, and just generally dodging and killing your way through ancient Japan. And the main villain is called the Dark Mantle. Also, just thought I'd say that. Yeah. Yeah. I could introduce all of the new characters, I guess. They all have unique gameplay styles of their own. But yeah. You were gonna say?
No, nothing. Just
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this other than just like I'm very surprised this happened. It does look very good. Coming to PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in spring sometime this year. Fucking bit my tongue. Anyways, what do you two have to any thoughts on this?
I forgot to look at the trailers until the last minute, so I glanced over them. I meant to look at them yesterday.
I love it when that happens.
I'm getting better. So I don't have much of a formed opinion, but it looks fine. Expect that from me for the rest of the trailers too.
All right then.
Sorry.
Anything from
I meant to look at them though.
Outside of
It looks pretty.
Yeah, good to know. I mean, yeah, I do agree. It looks good.
Look, the art style. Yeah, the art is really good. I mean, video games are getting just better and prettier and prettier. It's cool, so cool. I'm cold.
I do agree with that statement. Video games do continue to reach new heights, and we've basically just hit a. What was that? But yeah, I do agree with your assessment. Anyways, so yeah, that's the trailer for Pocky and Rocky. Did I say when it's releasing? Sometime this year. In spring, specifically. We don't have like an exact release date. It's coming out sometime in spring. So I will leave the Monarch for last. For now, let us take a look at the teaser trailer for Gun Jam. So the trailer itself does not show like anything of the game. It just has like a nice beat in the background with like a flying camera through terrain that looks like kind of gameplay terrain. It is entirely a teaser. It is like 22 seconds long, and it shows no gameplay at all. But what I can tell you about this game is that it is a music-driven first-person shooter. So it is a first-person shooter that is very music-driven, which is exactly what I said before, but in the reverse to make it sound like it was new. The development studio it's from, I thought looked familiar, but I was wrong. They have done some good-looking stuff in the past. Raw Fury and Jar Jar Games, they have done some cool-looking stuff, but I was mistaken in thinking that they had done something I was familiar with, specifically. Anyways, but yeah, this is just a teaser trailer for whatever this game is going to become. Headed to PC, Steam, at some point. The game itself takes place in a vibrant city. So the game itself takes place in a sort of dystopian musical thing. Let me just read the quote. So, welcome to the vibrant city of Mubel, where the omnipresent beat uses everything in music as a means of control. While city dwellers dance to the speaker's ruling tune, players must rebel and break out to its hypnotic flow by force. Gun Jam, carefully match your shots to the beat pattern and fight off hordes of tranced out troopers and other enemies to survive the musical dystopia and restore freedom to the masses. So yeah, so the enemies in this game are called the Beat, which is, I guess, apt. And as it says here, it is, you have to match your shooting of the gun to the beat of the music. So it is very like, it's a rhythm-based shooter, essentially. Which is not something I've seen before. I've seen rhythm-based dungeon crawlers, just rhythm games in general. There's a lot of rhythm-based like games I've seen, but not shooters. Shooters is definitely a first. And yeah. Graphically, oh yeah, that's the one thing I want to mention. Graphically, from what I can see in the teaser, it looks very nice. It kind of has this like if you pause on some of the like wider shots, it kind of has this cell shaded like thick lines comic book-esque style is what I want to say. Like it kind of looks like a comic book with just like very thick lines around everything. I don't know, kind of comic booky. But yeah, what do you two think?
Seems fine.
All right.
My response is really nuanced, I know. I'm gonna stay muted again.
All right. What about you, Devin? Good to know. That's fair. I mean, yeah, it looks nice from the teaser at the very least, but obviously it doesn't show any gameplay, so we don't know what it looks like in that regard. We'll just have to see if a new trailer comes out for it in the future times. Yeah, the future times. Moving swiftly onwards to our final trailer of the day, which is for Monarch, which had a demo available that I actually played through. So I'm more familiar with this one than I feel like any game we've talked about. Monarch is I guess it's an RPG that sort of, where's this thing at? Sorry. So Monarch is when I first looked at it before I played the trailer, it kind of reminded me of like Persona, specifically because of the school Persona or Shin Megami Tensei, just because of the school atmosphere. Like it takes place in a school, Japanese school, obviously, because everything takes place in Japanese schools. Yeah, so it's made. Man, I am just rambling all over the place this time. But specifically, I want to call it a visual novel RPG because it has a lot of visual novel elements, but it's also like an RPG at the same time. Like specifically, it has elements. When I say visual novel elements, I mean like you have character portraits that come up when you talk to people. There's like a dialogue tracker, so you can look back at what's been said. There's like a fast forward and auto through the dialogue, which is very like visual novel common features. But it also has like a fairly in-depth RPG like mechanics and stuff on top of that. But which come from the game's main. Why am I struggling so much to explain this thing? Jesus Christ, I fucking played it. What the hell? So I'll just start off by saying the game itself is made by the same types of people who made like Disgaea and other games in this kind of like style. When I, like an idiot, I for some reason thought it was an indie game when I first saw it, just because I'm not super familiar with the developers of these types of games. It is not an indie game. It is like 60 fucking bucks. It is indubitably a AAA Japanese game, which might surprise you. I know we were like graphically, it looks okay. Okay, it looks okay. Graphically, it looks fine. It would be hypocritical of me to bag on this game's graphics, especially when I was talking about Pokemon earlier. You know, graphically, it looks fine. It's, you know, it very anime styled. Where the hell was the thing I was looking at? What is the fucking companies that made this thing? Doopity-doo, doopity-doo. Yeah, so NAS, America, Furu, and there was one other company that made this. I cannot find it. Whatever. So yeah, the people who are behind this are like very familiar with this type of genre. So you know what? I'm gonna eat a cracker really quickly and come back to you when my brain decides it wants to explain things in a proper way.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna leave you guys with some awkward chewing silence. Enjoy the awkward silence. Okay. So I'm just gonna start explaining the game from my playthrough of the demo, which I did not finish. I got like, I don't know, probably like in 2 hours into the demo. It's actually pretty long. I don't know how much the game is included in the demo, but it's a pretty long demo from what I've played thus far. So the main sort of gameplay is visual novel, I guess. Like, what I mean to say is that the game is broken up into, let's call them visual novel segments, where you walk around the school talking to people and going through the whole visual novel shebang of character portraits and lots of dialogue and stuff like that. Story bits. That makes more sense than visual novel in this context. And then it's broken up into the story bits where you just walk around the school, the unaffected parts of the school, because the school is being infected by a mist that turns people crazy. So when you're walking around the unaffected parts of the school, you just get to walk around and talk to people and discover things. Like, you can discover items, talk to people, uncover some weird mysteries and stuff. The way this... So something I actually find very interesting about this game's stats in terms of how it is an RPG is it's all kind of based around the ego, like the mental aptitude kind of like ego. So when you start the game, you decide your character's stats by answering a bunch of like psychology questions, which determines what stats you get. And it's all the ego is broken up into like the 7 deadly sins as well. So depending on what you answer, you'll get more points in certain sins, or like aptitudes, or whatever they're called. So it's lust, you know the 7 deadly sins. I don't need to fucking name them off. Apparently my character got very high in lust. I don't know why. Also, I just need to let you know that I named my character Catman Jones just because it was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm a Japanese high school student called Catman Jones, who doesn't remember a damn thing because he has amnesia at the start of the game. It's literally you answer a bunch of psychology questions and then you wake up without a memory. And it's like, hey, what's going on? But yes, those are the two basic gameplay styles of like walking around, talking to people, and then there's the walking around the infected parts of the school, which are like mini puzzle areas that where you have to get past while you're in the fog, the mist. You can only be in there for a set amount of time before you just like go mad yourself and like instantly get transported back to the beginning, essentially. So you can only be in there for a certain amount of time before you die and get ported back to the beginning. I'm trying to explain this in a cohesive manner, but I'm just trying to explain the core gameplay mechanics first before I move on to like anything else. But so there's the infected parts of school where you go around doing a little puzzle thing, trying to get to the turn-based fighting thing. So the other half of the gameplay mechanics is the actual RPG elements of the combat, which is turn-based. It's a turn-based combat system. Well, it's active turn-based. So you can move your character freely in a area and then choose an action for them to do. And their actions have like ranges on them to affect things around them. And another interesting mechanic is actually, so to do certain actions, it takes like health away from you. So you need to be careful with what you're doing because, you know, to do certain actions or attacks, it takes health away from you, but obviously that puts you down more. Probably explaining it's the most boring way fucking possible, but anyways, I think it's actually pretty decent. Like I enjoy the concepts of the, you know, thing. And the main way your player character fights back is they have a drive form, I believe it was called. Basically, the physical manifestation of their ego and will. So in battle, you get like a drive form that lets you do stuff in battle. And there's a lot of like there aren't that many fights. Like for how long I spent in the game, there aren't like that many fights. I've only had like 4 battles, which is why I compare it to a visual novel, because there's just a lot of talking. There's a lot of story and talking going on, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, I mean the battle mechanics are somewhat simple, I'd say. Like they don't seem that complex from what I've played. It's basically you move around and make sure you are oriented in the right place to attack the enemy before they get to have their turn and you get hit as well. Also, if you position your pieces right, you can like get multiple attacks per turn because your allies will help you. If you attack next to an ally, they'll also attack. So on top of their own action, they'll also attack again if you attack next to them. And there's this whole thing with like deferring, which is like, you know, there was a bunch of words that I read, which was the tutorial, which is very Japanese of them. There's a lot of like minor mechanical stuff that I just don't want to go into because it's just weird and complicated. But it's your general RPG affair. There's like there's the mad gauge and the awake gauge, which is like you go into a powerful form and stuff like that. Yeah, the main thing I will say about this, that's like the main 2 like gameplay styles and stuff that happens in the game. As for the story, it hasn't really gotten started yet. It seems interesting enough. It is really fucking obvious who's evil. Like, unbelievably obvious who is evil. Like, the character I'm speaking of is called Karuma, who is the student president, the student body president, and he might as well have the words evil fucking stamped on his forehead. Like, he literally shows up with two of his lackeys talking in unison about him, and I'm like, you do realize that's incredibly suspicious, right? You do realize that two people talking in unison like mindless drones about you is like super suspicious. Yeah, he's very obviously the bad guy of at least this chapter. Like, super obvious the bad guy. There's also the characters all fall into like your sort of stereotypical anime tropes. You have like the old man doctor, the little sister, and the just main girl who's follows you around. Yeah, like I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, but I still didn't get really that far into the game. It feels like, anyways. Yeah. I don't think there's like really anything super specific about the story I want to reference. Oh yeah, I will say, like, when I first started playing the game, I thought that there was going to be like a mystery to uncover. Like, oh, there's this other world that's like causing damages to the school, and you have to uncover the mysteries because it's mysterious. No, apparently it's just a normal thing in this world. It's kind of like a normal occurrence for just mist that makes you go crazy to appear. So in this world, the other world, which is the world where demons and other things come from, it's called the other world, is like a normal talked about thing to these people, and they're just like, yeah, it really sucks that this is happening kind of deal. And yeah, could you please not? Sorry. I highly doubt you could hear that over the microphone, but a very loud car just went past my house. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. What was I trying to get across? What the hell was I talking about? Got distracted. The anime tropes, the story. Oh yeah, the general, like, that's how the mystery. Like, I thought there was going to be some kind of mystery to uncover, but it's all like pretty laid out bare, like instantaneously. Like, your character wakes up from amnesia, finds out he has a little sister, which you don't remember because you have amnesia, and then is like immediately asked by the dean of the university to go fix the problem. It's just like, hey, you guy, do you want to go like kill some demons for me to help the school? I'm like, I guess. It's like so immediate. It's very strange. It just kind of jumps right into everything, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of build up for most of what's going on, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It took me off guard because it was just very funny to just be like, yeah, sure, Mr. Amnesia Man myself is gonna go risk his neck, even though he has no memories of what's going on and probably shouldn't care about this situation. But yeah. I will say, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I kind of described most of what the game has to offer, at least from what I experienced. It has like English and Japanese voice acting as well, because most of it is fully voice acted with the exception of a couple lines from like random NPCs. The English voice acting is pretty good, from what I can tell, with the exception of the little sister character, who is just screechy and annoying. Like, I don't know what it is about English voice actors voicing small children. Like, I don't know why they go, like, there's this specific style of like voice acting that is, I don't think a lot of English voice actors grasp, which is like the small diminutive like voice, but it always kind of ends up like screechy and ear grating to me anyways. I don't know how to describe it. That's just a personal thing. Yeah, also the person you make a pact with in order to gain your powers is like a tiny rabbit plushie with a demon inside of it, your general thing. And when he first appears, he only talks in alliteration. Like, his whole speech pattern is alliteration and rhyming, and it was genuinely kind of it was annoying a little bit, because I was just like, can you shut up, please? Because he was literally like saying like 5 words that start with the letter N, kind of alliteration stuff, like literally alliteration, and then rhyming words at the end of sentences, or making sentences rhyme. And I'm like, what is your deal? I don't like you. Can you shut up, please? But yeah. I don't know. That was like kind of annoying, but it wasn't like, game breaking, I suppose. It was just a little annoying. Yeah. Anything to comment on or add? I just kind of rambled to myself for probably like 20 minutes. Like, from what you've seen of the trailer, or just anything to talk about with the game,
I don't know.
All right.
I saw the trailer. It looks like a game.
Yeah. It is pretty good. I will say that. I probably did say that already, but Also, having played the demo, man, this trailer is full of spoilers.
Oh.
It won't mean anything. Well, it'll mean something to you when you play the first, 20 minutes of the demo. Which is, I think, how long it takes for Karume, the Mr. Serious Bad Guy man, to show up. Like, he's literally wearing like 2 pieces of rope around his chest, and he has like a cape. He has like a cape. He's wearing all white, has a cape that looks like that. I feel like the fucking Emperor in Star Wars would say is overly dramatic. He just screams villain. It is incredible how obvious it is. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The game is very unsubtle. I'll say that. It's not a very subtle game. It is very over the top and very unsubtle in everything that it does.
Yeah, it sounded like that.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just kind of like, it makes you want to laugh. It's one of those game experiences where you're just kind of laughing at some of the dialogue and interactions because of how unsubtle everything is. Yeah. Anyways, Matthew, any thoughts on the game?
I got distracted by some cat stuff that was going on and forgot what you said.
Oh my God.
So it looked fine.
All right, then. The demo is on the Switch, so whatever. Yes, the demo is coming to Switch and PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Nintendo Switch and PC, February 22nd, so next month. This year. And yeah. It's a very interesting game. I enjoyed my time with it, and I'll probably finish the demo when I get some time. Will I buy the game? Well, if I had money, maybe I would. Money is it's a hard knock life with no money.
Hey, maybe you should use your computer to develop some game. Maybe.
I should do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool looking game. It looks interesting. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm just repeating myself. That was probably very unpleasant for everyone involved.
None of us figured out how to play that, and none of us have decided to play that game except you.
That's fine. Like I said, there's a demo available currently, so on places. There isn't a demo on PC from what I could tell, but there is a demo available on Switch and probably PS5 and 4. So if you want to go check it out, you can. Though, if you know these studios, then you've probably already pre-ordered the game. You know. Anyways,
reputation.
My mouse like this? My mouse just opens random tabs sometimes, and it's really annoying. Anyways, so that is the end of trailers and the end of Monarch. Lots of talking for me, as is usual, I suppose. Whatever. Host topics. We got any host topics? I'll take that as a no. Unsurprising. Unsurprising. That's fine. It's kind of been a slow week anyways for other types of news as well. So yeah, let's just get into news, I suppose. If no host topics are going to happen. So yeah, first bit of news we have for today is so the Nintendo has finally decided to release an update that has improved the Switch's virtual console for its N64 games, which is good because it was pretty atrocious before. Specifically, there's a report that specifically spotted in Ocarina of Time, some of the graphical weirdness that was happening before isn't happening anymore. And apparently the button input lag was reduced by a couple frames from what I could tell. Yeah, and also just to point out in order to play N64 games on the Nintendo Switch, you had to pay, what was it, $50? Yeah, $50. Was that a year, was it? Hold on, let me just check. It was a year, right? Oh, right, yeah, because, so yeah, in order to use the N64 fucking thing, what is it called? Why can't I think of it? Like, so you had to pay like $50 a year or so, I believe it was. It's been a little bit since I've looked at the exact pricing, but like you're paying like so much money. You were paying so much money for essentially nothing. And I got that you get Genesis games on top of that, but it just really wasn't worth the price, especially because the emulation for these games was not good, like really at all, which is pretty not good considering the price people were paying for it. But hey, it took them what, like half a year to finally update the piece of shit, but it's here. I mean, that's all I have to say about it. They're updating it. It might continue to get better soon. This wasn't like a massive piece of news. It was just like, you know, a thing. Like I said, kind of a slow week. Next up on the docket, we have kind of big news relating to Dark Souls. Specifically, the online servers for all the online PC servers for all of the Dark Souls games have been temporarily shut down. A reason was not given. There was a tweet from the official Dark Souls Twitter account that said the servers will be shutting down temporarily and that they apologize for the inconvenience. They did not specify why this is happening, though it can be assumed that the reason they're doing this is because of the recent what is it called? The recent where the hell, what is it called? In Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, there was recently discovered a essentially like backdoor exploit, which essentially allowed people to run code on your computer while being connected to the server. So people could literally, using this using the servers, could like give you viruses or like activate things on your computer through them. So it's this like, it's a pretty bad, it's like a big bad issue. So yeah, the RECE hacks enable unscrupulous players to hack and take control of opponents' PC, and was reportedly discovered during a streamer fell victim to the hack whilst live streaming. So that's pretty bad. You don't need to know what video games are to know that that's a bad thing. And apparently, like, obviously I don't know if this is exactly why they shut down the servers for all of the Dark Souls games. I know it's at least what they did for why they did it for 3 and are currently working on a fix for Elden Ring, which is their new game coming out. But this kind of like, if that is the case, that means that this has been an issue for like well over 10 years and they just never fixed it. You know what I mean? It's like, if the reason they're shutting down the service is because of this backdoor exploit, it means that at the very least they missed it and or have known about it and decided not to fix it until something bad happened. So it's not a great look, to be fair. But like I said, they didn't specify. Obviously, they wouldn't specify if that was the case, but they did not specify why they were shutting down the server. So we can at least give them the benefit of the doubt, though it's probably to try and fix the issue. So that's basically that with this one. It's just kind of like a bit of. It's also kind of like a PSA for people playing the Dark Souls games. Obviously the servers are down now, but PSA for future, hackers can fuck with your actual computer through the DS servers. So if it is not fixed, beware. Yeah. That's basically it for that. It was just a small bit of news. Anything to comment on?
Surprising. That's a little scary.
Yeah, it is. Last bits of news. yeah. I mean, yeah, it is scary when just shit like that can happen from video game companies. It's like you buy a video game and then just a hacker kills your computer through it. And it's like, why wasn't this solved in the QA testing for the game? I get that they can't get everything with QA testers, but you'd think something that big would be like on the docket of things to fix. You know what I mean? Especially after 10 years. Because that's the thing, right? Like, if they shut down the servers because of the hacking issue, that means because it was noticeably a problem in Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. That means that it has been a problem in all of their games. Which means they must have known about it. Like, how could they not know about it? How do you have the same issue for what? 4 or 5 consecutive games in a row and not fix it? Like, what?
I think there's a good chance that they just didn't know.
Well, I mean, sure, that is fair.
I mean, if it's an exploit in one, it's probably going to be in the other ones because they probably use the same code.
Well, I mean, I suppose, but it's also just kind of ridiculous that it's the case anyways.
Yes.
You know? And like I said, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on this one, but it's ridiculous regardless. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to our final news for today, which is basically just a sort of update / continuation of the Activision Blizzard stuff that we talked about last week, which is specifically last week I announced that last week we talked about how Raven Software was attempting to unionize. The QA team was attempting to unionize and create a union within it, their system to prevent to help out the workers and prevent some of the bad things that happened from happening again. So they were also holding a strike at the time. They have officially ended the strike. And they have unionized and ended the strike. So they have ended the strike. Yeah, the strike initially began when around a third of the QA team was just laid off back in December. Firings coming after a 5-week period of overtime and anticipated end-of-year crunch occurred despite Activision allegedly promising the team it was working on a pay restructure to increase wages. Kind of a shitty thing to do. You know, I feel like that's putting it mildly, considering, I mean, like, what they did was essentially work like probably over 30 people to the brink of stress and then just fire them before they get to be paid. That's what they did. Kind of a shitty thing to do. Yeah. Now quality assurance testers at Activision Blizzard's Wisconsin-based Raven Studio Software have announced their intention. Yeah, so they unionized. They announced their decision to unionize. Whoops, what did I do? I clicked on something by accident. However, the ABK Workers Alliance and Collective has announced plans to end the strike pending recognition of our union. So yeah, pending the recognition of our union, the Ravens QA strike has ended. Unused strike funds are being stored for future organization strike efforts. To Twitter today. Pending the recognition of our union, the Ravens QA strike has ended. Unused strike fund. Blah. I read that. We will post or retweet any GW updates here. Appreciate all the community support. So Activision Blizzard appeared to downplay the significance of news of unionization, saying it was carefully reviewing the request for voluntary recognition from the CWA, which seeks to organize around 36 of the company's nearly 10,000 employees. Yeah, and I mean that's about it from that bit of news. But yeah, so they've successfully gotten to the point that they can unionize and have ended the strike, which is good for them. Good for them is most what I can say about that. Yeah, good for them. Especially considering what they went through. I'm glad that they are succeeding in their goals. And sort of a next sort of like follow-up to that bit of news is, so Raven Software pushes on. So the unionization of the company, Kelsey, blah blah. So Right. So Activision Blizzard missed their deadline to actively to respond and voluntarily recognize the group as a union, which was just over 2 to 3 days ago, depending on when you are listening to this. So Activision Blizzard missing its 11 p.m. deadline to respond and voluntarily recognize the group. The bid will now be filed with the National Labor Relations Board, an independent government agency, and voted to begin the process of being recognized by the employer. A quick resolution to this process, Activision Blizzard accepting the union bid, seemed unlikely. So your Raven boss has also announced changes to its QA team structure with intent to embed workers around the company rather than its specific unit, seen by some as an attempt to damp down the unionization bid. What was it? Seen by some as an attempt to damp down the unionization. We, the super majority of workers at Raven QA, and are proud to confidently filing our petition with the NLRB for a union election. I cannot speak tonight. We wrote on Twitter. We're deeply disappointed that Raven Software and Activision Blizzard refused to uplift workers' rights by choosing not to voluntarily recognize our union in spite of our supermajority support. So it was an opportunity for Activision Blizzard to show a real commitment, setting new and improved standards for workers. Instead, Activision Blizzard has chosen to make a rushed restructuring announcement to try and hinder our right to organize. Activision Blizzard, we deeply respect the rights of all employees to make their own decisions about whether or not to join a union. An Activision Blizzard spokesperson said, "Yes, spokesperson. The best word for a company to produce." Reviewed CWA and Shield workers last week and tried to find a mutually acceptable solution with the CWA that would have led to an expedited election process. Unfortunately, the parties could not reach an agreement. So yeah, that's just kind of like a double up on the previous bit of news, which essentially like Activision Blizzard continuing to be massive dicks in light of their them being outed essentially for all of this shit they've done. But yeah, that is kind of like it's not just kind of, that is just like straight up shitty. It's just like they missed their deadline to approve the union. And it's just like, well, I guess we didn't make it. I guess you can't unionize now. Oh man, it would be so bad if it would be so terrible if we missed our deadline and you weren't officially recognized as a union. It would just be terrible. Yes. Yeah, this is kind of just I suppose you could call it the cherry on top of the fucking shit cake that is Activision Blizzard currently. With Bobby Kotick being the fucking plate that is holding it all together. I don't know where that was a very strange was metaphor. It was a very strange metaphor, but it kind of works, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot else to say about this outside of the fact that it's just shitty and it's kind of stupid that they're still trying to go down this path of this, like, go past the point of no return despite everybody wanting something else. But yeah, I don't know. I know you guys don't have like a lot to say on it either because just, you're not like super involved in the gaming industry per se, but I don't know, you understand company ethics. you can understand why that's a stupid and shitty thing to do. Yeah. And so that I don't know. Yeah, like I said last week, when I was forced to cover basically an entire year's worth of stuff in like a couple of minutes because I didn't cover any of it up until then. This is kind of why. It's just because new stuff keeps coming out even after this point. So, but yeah, yeah, continue. I'll try and continue to talk about some of the stuff that comes up with this in the future. But man, fucking Activision Blizzard. I don't know what else to say about it. Good. I hope they're approved. Their union is approved when they get official confirmation from not Activision Blizzard, but from the, what was it? What union was it? Not union. What the hell was it? The where is it? Not the CWA. The, God damn it. I was just looking at it. Where did it go? Come on, man. How the hell did I lose this? I was literally just looking at it. Whatever. It's not the CWA or Activision Blizzard they're getting recognition from. They're getting recognition from someplace. Why can't I find it? I just read it. Why do I feel like I just went into a different universe? What the hell? Why can't I find it? This is shit. There it is. Fuck me. The NLRB, which stands for National Labor Relations Board. There we go. Jesus Christ. Why was that so hard to find? Anyways, they're seeking approval from the National Union Relations Board instead of the CWA or Activision Blizzard at this point, because they didn't fucking show up. And that basically concludes the news we have for this week. As I mentioned before, kind of a slow week in terms of actual news, and the trailers we had were just kind of, whatevers. They had interesting games, but it was just kind of like, not a whole lot to dig our teeth into. But yeah, anything else to add, either of you two?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, not really.
Good to know. All right then. Then let's just smash cut right into shameless self-promotion, shall we? The part of the show where we shamelessly self-promote ourselves because we can. I don't know if it helps at all, but we can, so we do. Matthew, why don't you tell us what you've got coming up this week and where people can find you?
Anyway, so
I'm thrilled to hear this.
I might stream. I don't know.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, I have no idea. If I stream, it's gonna be on YouTube or Twitch under like 2 different names. Depends on what happens.
All right then. That sounds like a well-formulated plan that you have there.
I know. It does, doesn't it?
It really does. It
sounds like a really
well-formulated
plan.
It does. It really does.
It's I'm also working on a game, but I don't think that's gonna be ready anytime soon. It's a Pokemon game, but still.
Yeah, I can't imagine why it would take a long time.
Dialing takes so long.
Yeah, so that's it for you.
Yeah.
All right, Devin, why don't you tell us what you've got coming up this week and where we find you? I was trying to find more flowery words to say, but they didn't appear before me.
Yeah, I don't know. Minecraft videos. And I have a video coming up about banana. It's a 14-second video or something, and it's just about a banana.
All right.
It should be really good.
And people can find you. Where would people find those videos?
You can find me on You Think What? I've got this organized. Okay, you can find me on Bean's Budget Brewery for Magic the Gathering videos, or you can find me on Bean the Builder for Minecraft videos, or you can find me on You Think What for other videos about other things, including videos where I ask people on the internet random questions, or you can find just random gaming videos on Defmafu Gaming, and that'll also be where the Purgatoire stuff is going, I think, or the Belfana stuff.
All right.
Or You can find videos that I made about encyclopedias on. So I've been reading encyclopedia, and that is it.
All right then.
Yep.
Videos will appear there when they do.
Yep.
So that's it for you.
That's it for me. That
right.
is all.
Oh God, I have the hiccups. No.
Oh no.
I hate the hiccups. Quick, must get to the end before I die. What have I got coming this week? Ooh, oh no, it's taking me over. Help. It's taking me over. Oh God. What have I got coming up this week? Well, as per usual, the podcast will continue to be uploaded on Sundays through the remainder of the year, hopefully, as long as nothing comes up. Oh God. Hopefully sometime next month, Max will be available to start recording with us again. God, oh my God, it's killing me. I don't expect anything in particular, but Max will possibly be with us as a co-host once again. Where was I? Yes, Max will possibly be with us as a co-host, and the podcast will continue to be uploaded on Sundays at a time when I can upload them, because I don't have a set time for their uploads. I probably should, but I just didn't ever come up with one. Fuck. You can continue to find the podcast on Gaming Comma Discussion on YouTube, or GTD Podcast on SoundCloud, where I weirdly get more traffic, even though I probably don't. You can find me on Twitter at Gaming Comma the Discussion, or Gaming the Discuss. It's where I post nothing except for when the episodes are out, because I don't use Twitter at all. There's also with Max having his schedule open back up again, I'll possibly get that movie based recorded based thing with him. Oh God, I'm slowly dying. Help me, help. Yeah. With the Max having his schedule opened up again, hopefully I'll be able to get that movie related video thing with him done maybe sometime this month. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Don't expect it anytime super soon, just maybe within the next month. Other than that, I've been thinking about doing other stuff with videos, but I can't talk about it right now because my hiccups are driving me insane. And that's basically it from me. Thank you for shameless self-promotion, and thank you for the hiccups. I enjoy them. I enjoyed them so much. Wait, fucking kidding me? My hiccups end right after I'm done fucking talking. Are you fucking kidding me? What is this? That's genuinely stupid. All right then. Well, welcome to the part of the show where we end the show. You can find everything they're back once I've started talking again. You can find everything we talk about in the description or the pin comment below. The description or the pin comment below if you're on YouTube or SoundCloud. I mean, there's a description on SoundCloud. That should be self-explanatory. Oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed watching this rambling mess of me talking and describing a game in excruciatingly terrible detail. And by terrible, I mean actually bad. Oh my goodness. Oh fuck. Yeah, you can find no, I already said that. These hiccups are genuinely distracting. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the GT Podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and see you all some next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes. Goodbye. Oh my God.
Sounds like you're struggling, right?
I'm fine. If an episode isn't recorded by next week, the hiccups killed me.